Have you ever wondered how the legendary Chevrolet 150, 210, or Bel Air came to life? Imagine traveling back in time 60 years and stepping into a bustling Chevrolet assembly plant. The air is filled with the sound of pounding presses, the hiss of welders, and the sight of hundreds of workers, each performing their task with precision, all working toward one goal: turning cold steel sheets into the dream car of the American family. This was more than just a production line. It was a massive mechanical ballet where every movement was perfectly choreographed. Today, we'll take you through that remarkable journey from raw steel to the moment a gleaming Chevrolet rolls off the line. And to start this trip back in time, let's first step into the historical backdrop where it all began. In the years following World War II, America entered an era of explosive consumer demand. Veterans returned home, young families moved to the suburbs, and the automobile became the ultimate symbol of freedom and the American dream. This was Chevrolet's golden age. Millions of cars rolled off the line each year to meet the nation's hunger for new wheels. Picture a Chevrolet factory in the mid-1950s, a massive industrial complex stretching over acres, with interconnected buildings that felt like a city within a city. Inside, thousands of workers in blue coveralls worked in shifts, operating giant stamping presses, welding frames, and assembling parts. Each assembly line moved like a river of steel, flowing with purpose and precision. Chevrolet offered three main models at the time: the no-frills 150, the popular 210 for middle-class families, and the Bel Air, the dream car with gleaming chrome and upscale interiors. These cars were more than transportation. They were a badge of status. A Bel Air in your driveway meant you were moving up in the world. The factory was loud, intense, but full of energy. This was where blueprints became reality. And to truly understand this miraculous process, let's step into the very first stage, where raw steel is pressed into the familiar shapes of a Chevrolet. The stamping presses roar like a giant mechanical heartbeat. Before you are massive steel blanks, cut from hot-rolled coils, fed into gigantic dies. With every thunderous strike, the once flat sheet is transformed into a precise component: a hood, a door, a fender, or a roof panel. The air smells of machine oil and freshly stamped metal. Workers watch closely as each panel emerges, checking with gauges and even their bare eyes. A slightly misaligned crease or uneven surface means the piece is scrapped. Precision is everything here. Even though the presses deliver hundreds of tons of force, human skill is what keeps quality under control. Experienced workers run their hands over the metal, feeling for imperfections that machines might miss, ensuring that only perfect panels move forward. When enough panels are ready, side sections, floor pans, roof pieces, they're loaded onto conveyors and moved to the welding department. There, the next transformation will take place, as showers of sparks fuse these separate pieces into a single, solid body shell. Teams of welders work in perfect rhythm, each responsible for a specific section: floor, firewall, roof, or side panels. Using spot welders, they fire precise bursts that hold the metal tight, one spark at a time, until the shell is complete. The sound is constant: zap, zap, as molten metal cools in seconds. In just a short time, the once separate pieces form a rigid, one-piece structure that now truly resembles a car. Meanwhile, the chassis, the backbone of the vehicle, is welded and carefully checked for straightness and alignment. This ensures that when the body is later married to the frame, everything lines up perfectly. What makes this step mesmerizing is the teamwork involved. Dozens of people and machines move in unison, as if performing a choreographed dance of steel. Once welding is complete, the bare body is carefully inspected. Workers check every seam and gap, making sure it's tight and true. Only then is the car sent to the next stage, the paint department, where it will receive its iconic colors and truly come to life. The bare shell is carefully degreased and cleaned, removing every trace of welding residue. Then comes the rust-proofing dip. The entire body is submerged in a massive bath, coating every seam and corner for years of protection. Once dry, the car is primed for paint. The primer coat ensures perfect adhesion. And then the magic happens. Color. Legendary shades like gypsy red, India ivory, and onyx black are applied by skilled painters, each stroke of the spray gun controlled to perfection. After leaving the spray booth, the body passes through baking ovens to cure the finish. Workers then hand-buff the paint to a mirror-like shine, giving the Chevrolet its showroom-worthy glow that turned heads in the 1950s. Every surface is checked under bright inspection lights. Any speck of dust or color mismatch means a rework until flawless. When the body leaves this stage, it is no longer just a shell. It is ready to receive its beating heart, the engine and drivetrain that will bring it to life. The engine gleams under the factory lights as it dangles from an overhead crane, slowly lowering onto the chassis. This is one of the most dramatic moments on the line, when the Chevrolet receives its heart. Workers carefully guide the Blue Flame inline 6 or optional V8 into place, securing it to the motor mounts. Bolts are torqued to exact factory specifications. The transmission, drive shaft, and differential are installed immediately afterward, completing the powertrain. Suspension components, steering linkage, axles, and brakes are fitted next. Within minutes, what was once a bare frame now becomes a rolling chassis. The sound of air wrenches fills the air, punctuating each step. Then comes the marriage, when the fully painted body is lowered onto the rolling chassis. Every mount must line up perfectly, from bolt holes to fuel lines. Once fastened, the car becomes a single, unified structure. A quick inspection follows, ensuring proper fit and function before the Chevrolet is pushed toward the next stage, interior and glass installation, the finishing touches that will transform it into a showroom-ready family car. Workers install the dashboard, complete with bright chrome bezels, radio knobs, heater controls, and the signature two-spoke steering wheel. Every piece is carefully fitted by hand, with great care taken to avoid scratching the freshly polished paint. Seats are carefully carried in and bolted down, with tight, straight seams on the cloth or vinyl upholstery. The headliner is stretched and tacked into place, and the door panels are fitted snugly, giving the cabin a clean, factory-fresh appearance. Glass installation is a delicate process. Windshields and side windows are guided into position using rubber seals and special tools to seat them properly. A single mistake can crack the glass, so only the most skilled workers handle this stage. Once the interior and glass are complete, the Chevrolet is nearly ready for the road. But before it leaves the factory, it must undergo one last critical step: final quality inspection. First comes the water leak test. The car is driven into a spray booth where water is blasted from every angle for several minutes. Inspectors check inside the cabin for any sign of leaks around the doors or glass. Any flaw sends the car back for correction. Next is the mechanical check. The engine is started for the first time, its idle sound carefully listened to. Brakes, lights, horn, wipers, and dashboard instruments are tested one by one. The car is then taken on a short drive inside the plant, over simulated bumps and rough surfaces to check ride quality, noise, and handling. Only after passing all these tests does the car receive its final approval stamp. Quality inspectors sign off, and a tag is placed to indicate it is ready for shipment. Finally, the Chevrolet rolls off the line, its paint gleaming under natural light. It is now ready to meet its owner, a freshly born dream on wheels. And to understand why these cars became cultural icons, let's explore their impact on American society and the legacy they left behind. They appeared in advertisements, movies, and weekend drives through the suburbs. With affordable prices, many middle-class families could own their very first brand-new car, making Chevrolet truly the car for everyone. The Bel Air, with its sparkling chrome trim and two-tone paint, became the benchmark of attainable luxury. It was the backdrop for countless family photos, date nights at drive-in theaters, and impromptu drag races among teenage hot rodders. Over time, these Chevrolets came to symbolize the golden age of the American auto industry, an era dominated by tail fins, chrome, and the rumble of V8 engines. Today, they are highly prized by collectors, with fully restored 1957 Bel Airs fetching six-figure prices at auctions. But their legacy is more than just monetary value. These cars evoke nostalgia, taking people back to a simpler time when cars were not just transportation, but symbols of freedom, aspiration, and prosperity. And as we wrap up this journey back in time, let's take one final look at the entire process, from raw steel to that magical moment when a Chevrolet rolled off the line, to understand why they still capture our hearts to this day. We've just traveled back in time to witness the entire process of building a Chevrolet 150, 210, and Bel Air, from raw steel, stamping, welding, painting, installing the engine and interior, all the way to that magical moment it rolled off the line. Each step was not just manufacturing, but a celebration of American industry and ingenuity in the 1950s. If you enjoyed this journey, hit like to support the channel, click subscribe so you never miss another deep dive into classic cars and their incredible production stories, and tap the notification bell to be the first to watch our next video. I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the assembly process impressed you the most? The thunder of the stamping presses or the marriage moment when body met frame? Share your thoughts in the comments and pass this video along to your fellow car enthusiasts so we can keep the conversation going. See you on the next ride through automotive history.